The skies of Alaris Prime shimmered with gold-tinted clouds that reflected the light of its twin suns. It was a day meant for celebration, the centennial of the Coalition's victory over the raiders of the Outer Rim. Every capital city on every allied world echoed with speeches of triumph, their leaders boasting of peace secured through unity. Among those assembled was an alien girl named Lyra, a junior envoy from the Illyrian Council, standing at the heart of the grand convocation hall. Her luminous eyes scanned the vast gathering of species, hundreds of them, all sworn under the Coalition's banner. The hall pulsed with color and light as translators hummed, converting languages into shimmering tones. She stood at the podium, rehearsing the final words of her address. It was meant to be her first diplomatic broadcast to the entire Coalition. She wanted to speak about the future, about how peace was eternal now that the ancient threats were gone. The Council's overseer nodded to her. She lifted her chin and began. "We, the children of the stars, stand unbroken, for there is no force left to—" She stopped. Gasps rippled through the chamber. Every holoscreen flickered. The ornate lights dimmed as planetary defense alerts filled the air. A sound, deep and ancient like a heartbeat beneath thunder, rolled through the skies. From orbit came the first images. Something vast had entered their system. A single vessel, black, angular, and silent, had appeared above the world. It bore no Coalition markings, no transponder codes. It drifted above the upper atmosphere, indifferent to their scanning beams. One word spread through the hall like wildfire. Human. Lyra's voice failed her. Her throat tightened as if the air itself had turned heavy. The council chamber descended into chaos. Officials shouted orders to planetary defense, others demanded identification. The overseer's calm voice tried to cut through the confusion. "It cannot be. Humanity is gone. The archives said their worlds burned centuries ago." But the image didn't lie. The ship hung there, sleek, scarred, and utterly still. It was not a relic. It was alive, its hull pulsing faintly with energy signatures that defied known classification. Across the planet, every military sensor turned upward. Drones launched, defense grids powered up, orbital cannons aligned. Still, the human ship did nothing. The Coalition had fought wars for millennia, and they had grown arrogant in their peace. They had forgotten what it meant to fear. Humanity had been erased from history, remembered only as a cautionary myth, a species too violent, too unpredictable, too determined. They were said to have destroyed themselves after defying the Coalition's rule, and yet here one was. Admiral Tharn of the Illyrian fleet addressed the gathered council through hologram. His voice trembled beneath a thin veil of authority. "We are detecting no weapons locks. The ship is broadcasting something." Static filled the hall, followed by a voice. "Calm. Human. This is the Terran vessel Resolute. We come seeking answers." Silence followed. Lyra's mind raced. The humans were supposed to be extinct. The Coalition archives claimed their homeworld, Earth, had been rendered uninhabitable after their final rebellion. Yet the voice spoke with unmistakable clarity, each word carrying the weight of command and grief. The overseer responded, his tone cautious. "Identify yourself. Humanity no longer holds status among the living civilizations." A pause, then the reply came. "Perhaps that is true for you, but we are not ghosts. We remember what you did." The words echoed across every frequency. For a moment, every being in the Coalition felt a coldness they could not name. Lyra turned to the holo display. The human ship began transmitting images, fragments of ancient wars. She saw flashes of burned cities, fleets shattered in orbit, the Coalition's banners flying over smoking human colonies. She saw humans standing amidst ruin, their faces covered in soot and determination, refusing to kneel even when surrounded. Then came silence again. The overseer demanded an explanation. Those wars were necessary to preserve order. Humanity was dangerous. You refused to join peacefully. The human's reply was steady. You erased our history to justify your guilt. You called us monsters because we would not bow. You built peace upon the bones of those who would not serve. Now your peace trembles because a single ship arrived. Lyra could feel her heart pounding. She looked at the others, seasoned diplomats, generals, scholars. Every one of them looked as though the air had been stolen from the room. The overseer tried to assert control. If you threaten this world, know that we will defend it. The human laughed softly. If we wished to destroy you, we would not speak first. For the first time in living memory, the Coalition felt powerless. Their fleets numbered in the thousands. Their armies spanned galaxies. Yet this single ship, this remnant of a forgotten species, had silenced them all. Then the human spoke again. We came not for vengeance. We came to remind you of what you tried to bury. When you burned our home, you taught us something. Hope is not born from safety. It is forged in loss. You thought extinction would erase us. But humanity endures, Lyra whispered to herself. How did they survive? The human seemed to hear her, though the calm was one way. You called our extinction a victory. You were wrong. We left because your order was built on chains. We learned that survival means walking alone into the dark until light returns. We found that light again beyond your reach. The overseer's composure faltered. Then why return? The human's voice deepened. Because you are repeating the same mistakes. You speak of unity but rule through fear. You erase those who resist. We came to warn you before someone else does what you did to us. The human ship shifted slightly in orbit. It was a gesture of power, not aggression. The clouds below rippled as the vessel's shadow moved across the continent. Every species on Alaris Prime watched from their cities. Broadcast towers relayed the image across the Coalition's territories. Billions saw it. The black ship, small against the sun, yet impossibly immense in presence. Lyra felt tears form in her eyes. Not from fear, but from something deeper. The human's words struck a chord. The Coalition prided itself on peace, but she knew how that peace had been built, how dissenting worlds were reformed, how histories were rewritten. The Overseer finally spoke again. You presume much, human. The Coalition will not bow to threats. Then you have learned nothing, came the quiet reply. A beam of light shone from the human vessel. Not a weapon, but a transmission. Thousands of data packets raining down. Histories unaltered and raw. Evidence of the Coalition's purges, its secret wars, its betrayals. Every encrypted archive cracked open by human algorithms older than the Coalition itself. Lyra's datapad flashed as the files downloaded automatically. She opened one. It showed a message from an ancient human fleet commander. His final broadcast before the Coalition annihilated his system. We die today, but not in silence. The stars remember those who dared to be free. The hall erupted into uproar. Many shouted that it was a trick, a fabrication. Others knew better. The data bore the unmistakable signature of Coalition archives. The truth was undeniable. The Overseer trembled. What do you want from us? The answer was simple. Change, the human voice continued. We do not seek your surrender or your praise. We only ask that you remember what you destroyed in the name of peace. If you do not, the next species you erase will not forgive as we have. The transmission ended. The ship remained in orbit, unmoving, silent once more. Days passed. Then weeks. The human vessel neither attacked nor departed. Its presence alone was enough to shift the balance of the galaxy. Fear turned into curiosity, then into reflection. Worlds began questioning the Council's authority. Historians began uncovering records long buried. Lyra watched it unfold from her small office overlooking the capital's skyline. She had studied diplomacy all her life, believed in the Coalition's ideals. But now she saw the cracks. She saw the cost of peace enforced by power. Every night she looked up, and there it was, the human ship, a single dark silhouette against the twin suns. One evening, her terminal lit up. An encrypted signal originating from orbit. She hesitated, then accepted. The same voice spoke. You are Lyra. You questioned what you were taught. That is how change begins, she swallowed. Why speak to me? Because you still believe peace is possible. But true peace is not born from fear of war. It is born from the courage to face truth. She found herself whispering, Will you leave us? When our message is heard, the human replied. When the Coalition no longer hides from its own reflection. When your leaders understand that strength is not domination, it is restraint. The signal faded. Weeks later, the Overseer announced sweeping reforms. Censorship protocols were lifted. Hidden archives were opened. For the first time in centuries, the Coalition admitted its crimes. The human ship finally stirred. Engines ignited softly, casting ripples across the upper atmosphere. As it rose higher, its voice echoed one final time across every channel. Do not fear the truth. Fear the comfort of forgetting. Humanity learned that too late. May you not repeat us. Then it was gone, vanishing into the void without leaving a trace. But its shadow remained, not in the sky, but in the hearts of every being who had seen it. Lyra stood on the balcony as dawn rose. The twin suns painted the horizon in gold. The world felt different now. Humanity had returned not as conquerors, not as ghosts, but as a mirror. They had come to remind the galaxy that the worst cruelty was not war, it was indifference.